Okay, so I am now looking at the same template that I just gave you in the previous section. So open this up and we are going to fill out this whole thing. So this looks like a whole bunch of blank pages except for these couple tables, but that's okay. We're going to get all the way through this by the end of this class. So first, let's go through each section of it and just kind of talk in general about what's going to happen so that you know what's coming as you work on each section. It's very important. So first, let's talk about the executive summary. Well, actually, first, before we do that, let's fill in some of this stuff. So you're going to put your company name here, put the date. This is just a title page. Fill in this stuff, right? You can put a logo here if you want, if you have one, doesn't really matter. Table of contents, we'll come back and do that once we're all done. If you're using Word, it can generate that for you in many cases. Okay, so executive summary. Here's the deal with executive summary. This is like going to be a short way to say everything in this. I think we talked about executive summary a minute ago, where we basically want someone who's an investor or a potential investor to be able to read this one page and then decide if this is their cup of tea. Okay, so this should be one page, maybe 2 pages at most, no more than 2 pages. Now, pro tip, to write this, we're going to come back to it and do it last, because once we go through all this other stuff, you're going to get a much better picture of what should go in your executive summary. So if you start with the executive summary, you might be able to do that, but it's kind of tricky to do it that way. It's much easier to do your executive summary last. A couple things that should be in the executive summary, obviously just a 1 or 2 sentence kind of elevator speech about the company. An elevator speech is, kind of referencing that old thing where you end up in an elevator with someone who's really powerful and they say, "What is your company?" And you've got about 30 seconds to explain to them what your company is as you go up the elevator or down the elevator, whatever. So like 1 or 2 sentences. What is your company all about? That's kind of the first and most important thing in this, probably in entire document. Then you want to elaborate on that a little bit more. So we're going to talk about, description of what we do, what we sell, what are the goals of the business, target market, how we're going to make money, who is our competition, who is your management team. That's your room to name drop stuff right there. You say, I have, these 5 geniuses on my team, and they're awesome. And then the last thing is a summary of your financial situation for the business. Like, we have raised X amount of dollars, or we have not raised anything yet, but we are ready to go, or we are already up and running, or however you want to say that. So all of those little elements we're going to figure out in the business plan. So it'll be much easier to put a summary of them into the executive summary as the last step. Right? So don't worry about just diving into the executive summary, because you need it to be accurate with everything else that you're saying later. So much easier to do this last. So that being said, let's go on and talk about the next section, the company overview.